introduction today.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June council meeting. Please, all rise for the
Gavel?
I pledge allegiance. Please be seated. Thank you, Mrs. McAdoo. Our meeting is officially in session. Welcome, everyone, to the Municipality of Monroeville's regular council meeting. Here it's Tuesday, June the 11th, 2024. Mrs. McAdoo, roll call, please.
Mayor Griesbach, Mr. Hizzy,
Here.
Mr. Poach,
Here.
Mr. Stevenson,
Here.
Mr. Crut,
Here.
Mr. Adams,
Here.
Mr. Williams.
Here.
Mr. Biondo,
Here.
Mr. Graziani,
Here.
Mr. Ratcher,
Here.
Ms. Rock,
Here.
Mr. Yugis,
Here.
Mr. Sedlak,
Here.
Mr. Weldon.
Here.
All right, well, thank you, folks. First on our agenda this evening, we're expecting a presentation earlier from our District 8 County Council representative who has not made it yet as well. So if everyone doesn't mind, we'll hold that in reserve for something and like to move on to the public comment on our proposed agenda items only this evening. If anyone would like to make a presentation, please enter and sign in. And state your name and that you are a Monroeville resident, please.
I've already signed in.
Thank you.
My name is Robert Serafini, and I am a Monroeville resident. Last meeting, we had an ordinance here, and I'd like Mr. Ratcher to go over it with me, if he would, please. It's about the tree stuff, so would you elaborate on that
I
ordinance?
will, yeah. So, several years ago, council adopted an ordinance that changed the fee schedule for timber harvesting, as well as some of the rules and regulations. And this was done because there is a law called ACRE, it's an acronym, ACRE, and this ACRE law is a statewide law that takes precedence over any local ordinances or regulations Monroeville adopts. So in order to comply with the law, council adopted the new ordinance. Now, one of the things the ordinance did was also talked about what you could and could not charge fees for. Every year, the municipality adopts a fee ordinance that has these various fees in it. It's a document separate from all the ordinances. We have one master fee list. So typically what happens is come November, December, somebody gets it out of the closet, dusts it off, puts, the following year on it. If there's any increases, they put the increases into it, and then council acts on it in December. Well, what's happened, and it was just through negligence or error, the fee schedule was never updated to match the requirements of the ordinance that council had passed regarding timber harvesting. So the Attorney General, a citizen complained about it. The Attorney General contacted me and asked that council adopt the 2024 fee schedule over again and delete the ability of the municipality to charge miscellaneous fees like engineering fees, legal fees, whatever, to anybody who requests and receives a timbering permit. So that's the purpose of the ordinance that council is going to consider tonight.
How much was the fee?
It was, this is what made it an issue. It was a wide open fee. It just said that council in their discretion or the municipality in its discretion has the right to charge additional engineering fees, legal fees, whatever. So it was a wide open checkbook essentially to say to an applicant, if you want to do timbering here, and we've hired an engineer and we've hired, we've had the solicitor look at it and so forth, we can tack all those fees on and you have to pay them. And that is specifically prohibited by the ACRE ordinance, the statewide legislation. And as I said, through, just really an error of omission, we forgot to remove that from the fee schedule. And it's called to our attention, and the purpose of the ordinance tonight is to remedy that by removing the municipality's ability to charge miscellaneous fees.
Well, I, for one, know who requested this because it's for Point Circle Drive.
Yeah, but who requested it from the municipality was the Attorney General's office.
Well, that's who got through to him.
Sure.
Is there any way we can override this so the municipality can at least get something out of this?
No, no, the legislation's very clear, and the Attorney General's office has over the past, I think the ordinance, the acre law was adopted in 2005, and you've heard everybody say that it's a law that makes a lot of sense out in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle of the state between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, but in urban areas and suburban areas, it really doesn't make sense, but it is the law. And one of the things it says is you are restricted in what fees you can charge somebody who wants to do timbering on property that they have control of.
Okay, I've put in a call to the state, and they haven't gotten back to me. Is there anything we can say that we have to replant some trees when they do mass harvesting?
No, that's all up to, part of the law requires the applicant to put in a foresting or a timbering plan. And that plan, most of the time, depending on how much the density of the trees is, they may or may not have to do any kind of replanting. In many instances, they don't. But that's all part of what is reviewed. I believe it's, Paul, help me out here. Is it Allegheny County that actually reviews it?
The Allegheny County Conservation
Yeah,
District.
Oh.
okay,
That's who I've talked to, and they haven't gotten back to me.
okay.
Well, for one thing, I know on Point Circle Drive, on the even number side of the street, they have harvested twice already, in 1997 and 2016. They are going to try and do it again. I understand that's going to happen. Now, that's 3 harvesting on the one side, and they take a nice strip of that ground when they do that. And I also understand in 2027, the turnpike is coming up because they're widening that area right there where they come off at exit 57. So there's going to be 4 stripping of the grass there on a landslide-prone circle, on soil. I just don't think that's right. I really don't. And I'd like to stop it somehow. And if anybody can come up with an idea, I'd be very appreciative, because I've racked my brain how I can stop this guy.
What the acre law did was essentially take away the local control. So Monroeville, really all that happens is at the end of the day, we issue the permit. But the review, mostly all of the review is done by the County Conservation District, and the acre legislation is what dictates what can and cannot be done. So it really took it away from being a local issue and made it a county and statewide issue, and that's where we are.
Well, with all your brilliant minds up here, I'd like to find someone who can come up with one idea that we can screw them over.
Thank you, Mr. Serafini. I
Thank you.
appreciate your time. Why does it always happen when I do that too? Anyone else for public comment on any proposed agenda items only this evening? All right, if not, we'll close that session of the comment session of the agenda this evening. Graciously, Michelle, our District 8 Representative, Michelle Nakaradi-Chapkus, has in and asked for some time this evening, at the council's pleasure. If you don't mind, we're a little out of order over here. Michelle, please, and just say your name for the record, and then and position.
Sure, Michelle Nakaradi-Chapkus.
Thank you.
Do you need me to spell it?
I have it, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your graciousness in allowing me to be with all of you this evening. I wanted to just give an update. There are things happening at County Council. There are ordinances that have been passed over the last year, and even more so in the last couple of months, that relate to issues that I think are probably of interest to you, the residents of Monroeville, the residents of District 8. And so I've gone around to a couple of the municipality meetings to have conversation and just give an update on a couple of those so that you all know what's happening. Or talk to you offline about those. So I'll talk a little bit about reassessment. I promise not to take too much of your time. I know that you have a full meeting. But regarding reassessment, so as you know, the solicitor for the city of Pittsburgh's school district has sued in the Court of Common Pleas to force Allegheny County to complete a reassessment of property values. Based upon what we know, it's anticipated that the City of Pittsburgh School District will win in court and the county will begin preparing for a reassessment. While there most likely will be little to no role for county council, we will still want to hear from residents on this issue and all of you. On May 22nd, we had a public hearing and we had experts as well as residents from across the county present. That is available online. I'm happy to share that link with you if any of you would like to listen into that. There was representation from folks who had done a reassessment in 2012, and they spoke about that process. They're in the midst of doing one out in Lackawanna County right now. And then some other individuals who have gone through a reassessment process, and we're giving updates about how that's proceeding with all of them. The lawsuit was precipitated by another known as the Joffrey case, which challenged the common level ratio. Those are numbers that were submitted to the state by the previous administration. The CLR, as it's known, is used when appeals are made, and if the CLR is high, it means that homeowners are paying more than they should. So the next three ordinances discussed below these are designed to help really address with issues with efficiency in getting the assessments and the reassessments in the county progressing in a way that is helpful to residents. So just give you a highlight of those three. There's one called 12915-24. I'll just say those numbers so that if the residents want to go on the county website and look them up in more detail, they'll have the number to reference. This is the Chief Assessment Officer ordinance, and with the county on the verge of this reassessment, council felt it was important to ensure that the county Chief Assessment Officer has more oversight and accountability. So therefore, this person will be hired by the county manager with approval by county council. And just like the county manager and the solicitor, this person will be brought forth to county council for approval. And they'll also provide quarterly reports to county council. So we thought that that would be really helpful in terms of transparency and keeping updated with the office. 12917-24. This ordinance permits board members of the Board of Property Assessment Appeal and Review to hear appeals as long as the training is completed. So we want to make sure that we have people in those roles who are skilled in that space. This should help expedite the ability for homeowner appeals to be heard in a reasonable time frame. And then next is 12918-24. And this mandates a specific timeline, 60 days, by which homeowners' appeals will be decided. Again, this is getting to homeowner timely response because we've heard certainly over the months and years that there has been a lag in that process, and so that's trying to get that expedited a bit. And then most recently on June 4th, there was an ordinance that was passed, and that's 13056-24. And this ordinance would change the time frame of when property owners would file an appeal. So this is new. Currently, the deadline is March 31st. This ordinance changes that deadline to September 1st, meaning that you will know what your property tax bill will be for the next year under this new timing. Now, every other county in the Commonwealth has September 1st as that deadline. We were the only ones that had March 31st. From budgeting perspective, at the municipal level, it makes it a little bit more challenging, so moving it to that September 1st will hopefully help ease all of you. So this matter passed unanimously and was put into signature by the county executive. Just to give everybody a little update about Schuman Center reopening, that's something that I'm sure folks have interest in hearing. Mm-hmm. So as you know, Schuman Center for Juvenile Detention was closed a couple of years ago by the state. And it has been the desire by many to reopen this site to house juvenile population rather. So renovations have been ongoing for several months now, and it's anticipated that a pod for 12 juveniles will be open by the end of June. There was a tour of the facility by county council a couple of weeks ago. We looked at that pod. We were walking through the facility. Now they're just at a punch list really for some final details, so it's almost ready to go. And it should be anticipated that the entire facility will end up reopening at some point in the distant future, and the goal is to house 60 juveniles in that site. So next is the Allegheny County 911 communication upgrades, and you may have heard about that. I believe you all are on your own system, but Allegheny County Emergency Services has contracted with Motorola to create this new system that helps to really put the patchwork of municipal and county 911 systems together, and it helps in terms of technical support and really launching a countywide system to operate all emergency and non-emergency systems. The one thing that I think many folks aren't aware of is that there are many boards and authorities and commissions within the county, and there are lots of openings on those. And so it would be great to have District 8 representation on those. So the new administration, the county executive is naming people, nominating them to a variety of those. I will be happy to share a link with all of you if you have interest in submitting a resume, if there's one that is of interest to you. I'm encouraging folks all across the district to have some eastern suburb representation there. And certainly, I can either give you a link, or you can reach out and I can give you a listing of those authorities and commissions so that there might be something that aligns with your skill sets and your area of interest. Last is the Climate Action Plan, and that was an ordinance that was passed last year, and it requires the county's Department of Sustainability. That Director of Sustainability was just recently hired a couple of weeks ago. It's somebody who had been in that role actually for a while now and has that area of expertise. And they are tasked with developing a climate action plan, and that is to be submitted by July 1. I anticipate that there will be an extension, given the time that we are here, because there was an RFP that just went out into the community for a consultant for that role yesterday. So a little bit behind schedule, but it's really to think about holistically how we approach, as a county, all of the infrastructure needs, the public works areas that we have, the buildings that we have, so that we can really think about how the county operates to address and reduce emissions across the county. And then, I guess one more thing I'd like to just note is that we have a Friends of Boyce Park. And so for all of you who like to be in the park, recreate in the park, enjoy the nature in the park, go to ranger events in the park, there is a Friends group, and there's room for people to join and use their area of interest. You know, perhaps they have they're walking the park. We just had a Friends of South Park nomination meeting in the Appointment Review Committee meeting today, and there were people who do litter cleanups, and there are people who do dog management and go to dog parks. So there's lots of different areas that people have interest in, and the Friends of Boyce Park is always looking for new membership to bring new ideas to them. They talk about safety, they talk about nature and recreation and everything in between, so it's a nice opportunity for residents to get involved as well. And that is the end.
Thank you, Michelle. Questions for Michelle? Any other updates? Anyone, gentlemen?
And I'm always happy to respond to Public Works requests that come in, so I know that they've been timely and have been able to accomplish all of the things that you've asked. So I want to publicly thank Public Works for being so helpful in that regard.
Michelle, someone from the county came to us a month or two ago, maybe 3. They were doing some work up by the wave pool. Do you know how that's progressed? Has it even started?
The skating park, yeah. So we had just had a meeting with the Friends of Boyce Park, and the Director of County Parks, Andy Beckley, attends all of those meetings and said that they anticipate that by the end of June, that park will be open. So they're progressing nicely, and they're excited to get that
Okay.
open. It's going to be really a state-of-the-art facility, as I'm told, so that's an exciting thing.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Michelle, welcome anytime.
Thank you. Thanks for your time, and please feel free to reach out anytime.
All right, thank you. All right. With that conclusion, folks, we have an executive session announcement. Council conducted an executive session on Tuesday, May the 28th, 2024, from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., and on Tuesday, June 4th, 2024, from 6:15 to 7 p.m. to discuss matters pertaining to legal, personnel, and real estate. Council legislative action, if any, shall be taken the Tuesday, this evening, June 11th, 2024, council meeting. On that. And now I'm going to move on to approval of some minutes as well. Approval of the minutes for Citizens Night, May the 7th, the council agenda-setting meeting of May the 7th, 2024, and the regular council meeting of May the 14th, 2024. Motion to accept.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Simple things, I just do it as a person. Approval of the reports of the tax collector. Any questions on our tax collector, from the report from the tax collector? From anyone?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Now, A list of bills and budget transfers and payroll. The list of bills for May 2024 and the list of payroll for May of 2024. Motion to approve, acceptance.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Is that,
All in favor?
is that both?
Yes, for both. I'm sorry, for 2024, yes, for both.
For the
Both,
list
yes,
of
please.
bills?
And the
budget
payroll.
transfers, and payroll?
Payrolls, yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Into that. Motion to approve, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. All right. So we move to our consent agenda, reading in our old business, I believe.
Yes,
Mr. Graziani.
Roy Musser, the subdivision 24-2-SUB. Applicant is requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval to subdivide tax parcel 861-A-119 into 3 lots. Lot 1 with an acreage of 0.1056 acres, Lot 2 with an acreage of 2.0991 acres, and parcel A with an acreage of 0.7925 in the S Conservancy zoning district. The property is located at 1876 Haymaker Road. Variances were granted for the proposed nonconformities created by the subdivision. Zoning Hearing Board file number 24-1-A. And there's a note under that says the Planning Commission recommends approval with conditions. However, there's an asterisk, the applicant has requested withdrawal of this application.
Now, currently, I believe it's on the table.
I make a motion to take it, put it back on the table?
Is there a second?
Take it off.
Second.
Take it off.
Take it off.
Take it off the table, I'm sorry.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now then, we need a motion to request the withdrawal of the application.
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept the withdrawal.
Yeah.
The withdrawal of the application. Thanks, Bill.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No question on the motion? Thank you. Okay. To do that. Some more new business, Mr. Graziani.
Yes, this is the 24-4-SUB's John Silvestri. Applicant is requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval to subdivide tax parcel 638-F-74 into 2 lots. Lot 1 with a total area of 0.76 acres and Lot 2 with a total area of 0.95 acres in the R2 Single Multifamily Residential Zoning District. The property is located at 3668 Northern Pike. The Planning Commission recommends approval with conditions.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Mrs. McAdoo.
Mr. Hizzy,
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson,
Aye.
Mr. Crett,
Aye.
Mr. Adams,
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Biondo.
Aye.
Do you vote?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Page, I'm sorry.
Aye. I still do. Thank you for that, too. Motion.
Good luck.
It's good luck. Thank you, Mr. Silvestri.
Thank you very much. It was a fantastic process going through here and to answer all the questions. Yes, Ivy Street will be the access.
Great, thank you.
Great job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Graziani, next one, please.
Next is 24-1-C Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Applicant is requesting conditional use approval pursuant to Article 5, Section 504 KK Vehicle Leasing / Rental or Sales of the Monroeville zoning ordinance, number 2779, to establish a vehicle rental business. The property is located at 120 Mall Boulevard and known as tax parcel ID 639-C-120 in the Boulevard zoning district. So last week, we had scheduled for the public hearing, and the applicant failed to show. Therefore, it is before you
Make a
now.
motion to
And
table.
Well, and have they communicated with you as well?
Yes, they've accepted extension to make sure the timelines are.
Motion to table this event.
Second. You already motioned.
First and second, roll call vote, please. Mrs. McAdoo.
Mr. Biondo.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Adams.
Aye.
Mr. Crett,
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson,
Aye.
Mr. Poach.
Aye.
Mr. Hizzy.
Aye.
Okay. So in our motions here, the first motion that's on here is white. I believe that's up to me. Read these, right? Yeah, well, motion to accept the resignation of Tim Leonelli from the Planning Commission.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, great. Item 2, a motion to nominate Paula Montgomery for the Planning Commission to fill the unexpired term from January 2024 to December 2027. Paula previously served as an unexpired term on the Planning Commission from October 2020 to December 2023. Motion.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any question? Any opposed? No one's opposed? No questions on the motion. Thank you. Discussion regarding the rescheduling the August Citizens Night and agenda meeting on Tuesday, August 6th to November National Night Out. A request from the mayor to set this aside for us to discuss in July unless anyone has any other,
No problem.
to do that?
That's
Okay.
fine.
All right, as well. All right, let's move to our ordinances.
First one's the first and only one is an ordinance of the Municipality of Monroeville amending ordinance numbers 2784, the 2024 fee schedule to remove the miscellaneous fee section under the timber harvesting section of the ordinance. And there's a page attached to the ordinance itself that shows you the fee schedule that is being, the fees that are being removed from the timber harvesting section of that fee schedule.
Okay, so motion to approve this ordinance.
I make a motion
Second.
For-
to approve.
First and second to approve, okay, first, second, and second to approve also? Okay. Roll call vote, please, Mrs. McAdoo.
Mr. Hizzy.
Aye.
Mr. Coach.
Aye.
Mr. Stevenson.
Aye.
Mr. Crut.
Aye.
Mr. Adams.
Aye.
Mr. Williams.
Aye.
Mr. Biondo.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Moving right along. Things, we have reports from our municipal staff. Mr. Ratcher, anything this evening?
Nothing tonight, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Solicitor. Mr. Graziani.
In the May meeting, there was a request for information for council related to the library, so I'm just handing that out for you. You can, there's a front and a back. The front details changes from 2013 to 2023, and it relates to not only the people who entered the library, but programs and attendance and circulation. On the other side is the first quarter comparison of 2024 to the first quarter of 2023. Same information, circulation, service activity, door count, and so forth. On the page with the chart are footnotes related to how the door counters work, because I believe this request specifically inquired about the door and how entrances, both at the children's and the main adult entrance, are how those numbers work, what's included, what's not included, and so forth. Nicole, I'm sure, will answer any questions you all have. But again, it's statistics of the first quarter for this year compared to the first quarter last year, as well as statistics over the 10-year period from 2023 to 2013 to 2023. Other than that, you can see the announcements for household hazardous waste and some of the other things included in your binder. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Let's go over that again, just for the record, too, on the household hazardous waste collection events, please.
Sure. We do this throughout the year, and this one happens to be on June 22nd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Public Works. Registration through Noble Environmental Service is required. And basically, if I understand, the eligible items are the things that you certainly can't put out for curbside pickup. And they include things like paint or electronics or chemicals that you have in your house. And you put them in your trunk, and you pop the trunk, and they will remove them from your trunk, and they'll give you a voucher like for the weight and so forth that's been picked up. So it's a great service. We've been doing it for a number of years, and I believe we do it 3 or 4 times a year, Ms. Hughes?
4.
4 times. Excellent.
And that registration piece to register, do we have a link off of our website or not?
Yes, in fact, if you look at the municipal homepage, it's right front and center there.
Great. So folks can register for that early on. All right, anything else, Mr. President?
Nope.
Great, okay. Mr. Hugus?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, pleasure. Ms. Rock?
Nothing tonight.
Okay, but it sounds like you're a little element of foreboding, like you have something planned for in the future.
I might.
Be budget.
We will be getting our audit soon.
I kind of thought so. It's
Yeah.
usually that time of year, Josie.
Yeah,
And it's been
it
good
is
news
that
the
time
last
of
few
year.
years, too, so looking forward to that, actually. Some people don't look forward to an audit, but I know you do.
I do,
I
yeah.
know.
We do okay.
I know you do. It's been a great job to do that. All right, And I have a public comment section here on any other municipal items that are left over. Please, sir, if you come up, state your name, sign in, and make sure that and state if you're a Monroeville resident, please. Excuse me.
My name is Bill Shopes, longtime member, Monroeville, live behind the mall, Ward 6. I recently attended Community Day here Saturday, and I know council doesn't hear enough of it, or public members, but it was a wonderful display of the community coming together. We had a great display on the health system. We had a medevac come in, had also the fire departments were well represented, and various other people, including a car show. And I know it was a well-done event. And the weather even held up real good. Yes, it did. Held up real good. So, but I just wanted to say thank you. I know you don't hear it enough from residents of Monroeville, but I do want to stand here before you and say thank you. It was great. Hope to see some more of it.
Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Very much.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else and any other public comments?
Thank you, Chris.
All right, well, I'm going to move to the reports of our council members and mayor. And I'm going to start with Mr. Biondo for.
Oh, great.
Start at 7 and.
Caught him off guard.
First, I'll start by saying, I agree with you, Mr. Shopes. It was a great event. The helicopter, the car show, everything was great. The weather worked out perfectly for us. It was a very nice event on Saturday. Jared, do you have the 4th of July? Just a reminder that the 4th of July is coming up in next month. The parade is at 9 a.m. at the Miracle Mile, and 9:30 p.m. there will be fireworks at the mall annex, and both events will be live streamed on YouTube, Comcast 21, and Verizon 45, channel 45. And happy birthday to my wife Julie. And that's all I have.
Happy birthday, Mr. Biondo.
Happy birthday, Julie.
Mr. Williams.
A couple things here.
You're not gonna last.
I don't know if y'all got a letter from Heritage Community Initiatives, but they sent these letters out, and they're asking for a $5 donation. And so I called them, and I asked them, do you do anything in Monroeville? One of the things they do, you see the Heritage bus. I think it costs 25 cents to ride that bus around Monroeville, and being they asked for $5, I would make a motion that council, the mayor, manager, sends them a $100 donation, because they do serve Monroeville in some respect.
So you're asking that as a motion?
Yes.
Second on Mr. Williams' motion.
Second.
Second for Mr. Hizzy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes carry it.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Did you say no?
The other thing is,
Excuse me 1 second, Bob.
Did you say no?
Aye.
Okay, I'm sorry.
the other thing is, Route 22, they're starting to pave it. Well, I'll tell you what, when I come down off of the Parkway through Churchill and see what they've done, this Triangle Construction Company does a bang-up job. And even for the Memorial Day Parade, they listened to our request and had all the cones and everything moved out of the parade area. So 4th of July, it's really going to look good. So just ask for the public's patience a little bit longer, and we're going to have a great road for many years to come. Don't forget the 4th of July parade that was mentioned, and just remember, let freedom ring. And remember, freedom isn't free. There was a lot of bloodshed over the years, so that we could sit up here, have freedom of speech, and do some great things publicly. One of them is freedom of religion, and it's just great to live in a country that honors so many things. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Mr. Adams.
I concur with Bob.
How could I not?
It's nice going after Bob, isn't it?
Yeah,
can't
Dennis,
follow Bob.
I was thinking of it. Didn't do that. Mr. Krug.
Nothing, thank you.
All right. Mr. Stevenson, I know you have a few things lined up.
I have a few items, Mayor. I am on the Monroeville Parks and Recreations Board, and I have some updates and some news. First, the Blue Light Project sponsored by Monroeville Recreation and Parks to show support for our Monroeville Police Department raised over $2,800 for the Police Benevolent Society. Continuing this effort, the 4th of July Parade Committee is planning a blue out in Monroeville on July 4th, and will be selling blue light bulbs at the grandstand. There are spots available for our special needs summer camp, Camp Chippewa, starting Monday, June 17th. If you have a special needs child, this recreational camp will get your kiddies out in the park, swimming on the fun field trips, and enjoy books at the library. Our summer theater camp, comprised of local kids in grade 3 through 8, will present the musical Frozen Kids on Saturday, June 29th, 2024, at 3 to 7 at Gateway High School Auditorium. Performances are open to the public for a suggested donation of $10 per person to build a community youth theater program. Jared, if you would, Monroeville Community Day was held this past Saturday in Monroeville Community Park West. Estimated crowd was about 3,500 people. Thanks to Public Works staff Nick, Brian, Al, Vito, Scott, and Max, and thanks to MMTV staff, and thanks especially to Paul Estock and the Recreation Department and staff for all their hard work. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. Mr. Hizzy?
Nothing at this time, sir.
Well, I've certainly had enough time this evening for everyone as well. So I'm looking forward to, if there isn't anything else from council members, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.
That was quick.